what I'm going to talk about briefly, and then before I get into it, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Steve to talk a little bit more about what we're doing here specifically in Ireland related to startups, the Startup Accelerator. But I'm going to just kind of go through, unfortunately, relatively quickly, all the ways that we support EdTech organizations, support organizations across essentially the education sector. So I'll dive deep in terms of how we can help you grow, how we can help innovate, and the various ways that we do it, and the various mechanisms, to programs that are available, and some of their benefits, and how to get involved in them. So before I do that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Stephen, who's here in Ireland, and talk a little more specifically about a few of the startup-related topics.
Yeah. Stephen Bunning is my name, so I am the EdTech lead for the Republic of Ireland. It's my responsibility to deal with all of our education customers in EdTech, from the kind of more established players, the ones with a good idea and are trying to get going. So I guess some of the things that we do and we have in place to support the startup community in Ireland, the first thing will be is office space. So our Dublin IT office in Charlemont Place is a startup loft where people can go and use it for office space, where you need to do a meeting, you want to spend some time in corporate environment and get out of the living room and take off pajamas. There's other things there as well from a credits perspective. So we've a program called Activate that gives startups up to $100,000 in AWS credits. As part of the startup loft, there's Ask the Expert sessions in there where you can go and ask technical questions around marketing, product development, and there's a schedule of that published on the website. The other thing we're doing, I think Linda touched on this, is the Startup Accelerator. So we piloted it last year. We took 10 participants on board. Joy from all that because it's actually covered. You would be on stage yourself in the run. A bit of a chat about the experience. The hope is that we'll do that again next year. We'll be looking to help you up to applicants over the next couple of months. So that's a 10-week program essentially where we'll take you through how AWS generate our own ideas, how we kind of productize. It delves into our kind of working backwards methodology and the things that we do in that space. So it's an interesting program, and I think Joe would probably attest that it was a positive experience. So those are the main kind of pillars of what we're doing in the startup space. But we're around, we're downstairs. If you have any questions or queries, do feel free to pop over and ask. Okay?
Like to chat.
Okay, so I see. Yeah, you better vote.
Right, before you start,
Yep.
No problem.
Just briefly about my team, the team I'm on. We're all ex-COOs, CEOs, chief revenue officers, EdTechs and media organizations. Quickly about myself, I was the chief revenue officer for 3 different listed EdTechs. I ran the Goldman Sachs education practice for about a decade. I've been at AWS for about 2.5 years. So how we focus or how we think about education, I'm trying to do this on sort of light speed, so I'm happy to answer any questions, looking at about 18 minutes at this point. So we worked with higher education institutions, K-12 organizations, at the classroom, building level, as well as MATs in the UK, big districts across the US, ministries of education as well, EdTech, and on the state and publishers that as well. And so why do EdTechs normally work with, why are EdTech strategic to AWS? Well, we see that education organizations around the world normally prefer to buy versus build. It's not always the case, but in general, that's what we're seeing. Unlike other providers, AWS doesn't have an education product. We are here to help education organizations across those 4 different pillars think about innovation, think about growth, think about how to improve the student experience, the teaching and learning process.
I can't control that. I don't know why it's happening.
Words.
It'll go away in about 3 seconds.
Somebody's trying to plug into our presentation.
This might pop over here, so I'll keep going and we'll see if we can get it. But I think, generally across the this startup space, 83% of startup unicorns are on AWS. You look at the top 100 GSV, creation GSV ed techs around the world, over 90% work with AWS and built on AWS, are all in working with AWS. And for us, frankly, like we need to partner, with ed techs to serve our education customers. So I often meet with ministers of education around the world, and one of the conversations we have with them is we try to solve for what are your challenges. And frankly, with Mark said, we don't compete in the space. We just start ed tech partners. They're often asking us who should we work with, and so we often then through our partner network or through our relationships help bring you in to help solve big problems for K-12 organizations, ministries of education, higher ed education institutions. Can't see it on the slide, but it's just a slide to demonstrate kind of our scale and space here.
I think the devices in the room are
We will
making
share the
laugh.
slides with everybody.
If everybody turn off their Bluetooth, everybody just turn off the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I think it's a speaker, so it's supposed to be. I thought like you the speaker though. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is just a snapshot of just a handful of ed techs that are working with AWS to grow their business. Could be through innovation, could be through market expansion, new market entry. So what we see, at least generally in terms of what startups are asking us for, in terms of looking to build out their good schools. I'll just and the why I think of AWS is really around innovation. Like my team comes and sits down with you and your teams and really goes through this working backwards ideation session to really try to understand your business, to help you move with speed, help you innovate, help you drive time to market. So our team really sort of takes a very consultative approach about what are you trying to solve for, who are your customers, what's your market, so that we can help you execute and move quickly. And so that's a part of that consultative engagement, but the depth of services, the pace of innovation that AWS works, reducing costs. So at economies of scale, the more ed techs that work with us, we continue to reduce the price of our services, from compute, security, and others. I think over the last 5 years, we've reduced prices over 300 times. So nobody else is doing that. So that economies of scale helps support your growth and your innovation to bring that back into the business. Scaling fast. So I'll get to, we have a number of mechanisms like our partner network, marketplace, working directly to help you sell, to remove some of those challenges like the procurement process, to move quickly and to move with speed, to take advantage of our organization around the world to help you sell into the institutions that you're focused on. And going global. Go global in minutes through things like marketplace, but go global through our teams on the ground that have relationships with the higher eds, with K-12, with the ministries of education, and with corporate. I'm not going to go through some of our success stories. I can share many of those with you. I mean, that's normally what we would do. We kind of sit down with your teams to kind of share a number of use cases that are similar organizations to just kind of demonstrate how we've helped them grow and how we've helped them solve some of their big challenges.
There, nice.
There you go.
See?
Yeah, it's start coming to that. Yeah, okay. This just sort of demonstrates sort of a quick snapshot of just some of the resources that we have. It could be challenging, I think, definitely for me. I'm sure perhaps for Steven as well, to keep track of all the services and features that we're releasing. We used to wait until reInvent to really drop to the market, but the market is sort of speeding up, and so it feels like, quite frankly, every week, every fortnight, AWS is releasing new services, new tools and support, whether it's AI, whether it's machine learning, security, across the entire stack of the things that you're focused on as a business. That's how much time? Sorry, I just.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm good. Okay. So, I have way too many slides.
You have 10.
We have 10.
Oh, 10 minutes. All right. I'm good. All right. So, pause. So I think this slide was just to sort of demonstrate like what we're seeing as far as AI, ML use cases in education and where our team is focused. Really, everything we do, like you, keeps your customers at the center, the students at the center. And so whether we're focusing on research. We're focused on student retention and recruitment, fundraising, what you're trying to solve for. That whole flywheel for AWS and all of our services are wrapped around keeping your customers and students at the center to improve the teaching and learning experience, to improve recruitment, to improve retention, and to drive hyper-personalization, to be able to actually deliver now, not just creating new content, but really delivering on personalized learning in a way that we've really never been able to do before and do it at scale. I'm sorry. Through some of these, so you can see I have a number of sort of like use case slides here. I could talk to you about how we've helped ETS, how we've helped Echo, Coursera, and others. But I'll just kind of breeze through these. So Amazon Recognition is one of our services that you may know about. It's helping reach students and teachers to really bring sort of that playfulness to mathematics in a way that can drive scale. So one of the things we've heard around the world is math isn't fun, but how do we help organizations who are focused on that domain drive engagement and deep learning in domains like mathematics? And so at Amazon Recognition is one way to leverage our services to bring that creativity, that motivation and engagement into and hard to access in some cases domain like mathematics. And so Amazon Recognition can focus on things like object staging and activity, content moderation, text translation. Duolingo, again, is another example of a partner we worked with at Coursera as well. And you'll see these slides, right? And yes, so I think as Stephen mentioned, AWS Activate is one key program that you can tap into. That is one way to help startups, specifically designed for the needs of startup organizations. So it's really is a virtual startup accelerator program that's designed to help entrepreneurs take that next step in your business journey. Whether it's sort of online learning, analytics, campus management solutions, and whatever you're focused on in terms of solving for the marketplace, we're able to bring basically subject matter experts across the technology stack as well as the business stack to basically help sit alongside and mentor your organizations as you go and drive scale. I think that what so yeah. So then, as Stephen mentioned, we have cohorts that go through the AWS Activate program. There's a number across the industry. It's not just for education. So you can see that companies like Airbnb, Lyft, GitHub, Palantir, all of these have started as startups and have gone through the AWS Activate program. So this gives you a sense of how we can help. Again, not just from a technology perspective, but non-technical. And I think that's sometimes the key missed piece for us is that we can help on the commercial side and the business strategy side, and as well as thinking about the technology infrastructure. So there's a little bit about why I choose AWS Activate. I'm sorry, I'm just going to kind of borrow from my notes here, but building on AWS with that pre-built infrastructure, so AWS Activate helps you bring together sort of infrastructure templates, which allows you guys to move faster and easier, and through that build process, take advantage, as Steve said, of the credits, almost $800,000 in special offers, including access to products, membership services, tools across the entire AWS stack and infrastructure. So those credits are there to intentionally help you use them as you need them, but again, use them in a way to continue to help you grow, and let us help you align those credits to your areas of need. So you can, I think that technical support, the technical architecture support, so through the Activate program, you'll be assigned a mentor, and someone you can work really closely with throughout your Activate engagement. And I think that piece is really important. Normally, like when I'm a mentor, I have a once a week, hour-long conversation with the organizations that I'm working with and support. I'll often go see them in person, so that I can really deeply embed myself and my team within that organization, and so we can just deeply understand what you're trying to solve for, what your market is, who your audience is, so we can think about both the technology and the commercial opportunities to support you grow. So I think a few other additional sort of benefits of the Activate program and some of the other programs we talked about in community. So that every cohort brings together startups across the education spectrum. So we have meetups, we have thought leadership days where we bring experts across AWS together virtually. We'll have pitch days, but we'll ask you to do a pitch, not just with the other ed techs across the Activate program, but other cross industry as well, but we'll also ask you to do that, and we'll invite other AWS executives to hear your pitch and to give you feedback. We'll do things like founders dinners, roundtables. So that community piece, I think, is something that's really important. I think this piece, investor, I know all startups, you're thinking about your capital, you're thinking about perhaps the next raise. Investing and then investor relationships is another piece that's a part of that program. So we're bringing the investment community together with you to hear your pitches, to get close to your businesses, so we can help sort of bridge that relationship together. I mentioned the technical. There's a lot of the technical pieces that are involved in the startup program, various webinars, special kits, technical support through your mentor, office hours. Of course, the credits obviously are meaningful. We understand that, and that comes as a part of being a member of the Activate program. And then I think lastly, the publicity. Let us help you through the Activate program amplify your business, whether that's through blogs, social media posts. We bring a lot of our Activate partners together with us with various conferences and roundtables that we sponsor. So we bring you together to help you amplify your business. In fact, once you go. So there's 2 credit tiers. We can dig into this. If you're interested in the Activate program, come to Steven, come to me. We'll kind of go through this in a lot more detail. But we got to have 2 sort of categories. It's the founders, which for really early stage startups, and then the Activate sort of portfolio program. You're actually how this guy go breeze through this. There's some differences between the 2 programs. The founders program in terms of the credits and the depth of those, and the extent of the credit plans. Again, come to us, and then we'll kind of give you a little bit more detail about what that looks like, and as well and the application process and the timing for the next round. So we've got the slide here is just about how to join the AWS Partner Network. So Activate is one mechanism to grow. The Partner Network is another. And again, there's sort of three categories that we think about the Partner Network: the community, the build aspect, how we can help you innovate. Again, through bringing together experts across AWS, whether it's focused on well-architected networks, solution architects and others. We have a part of that APN network that focuses you on building out your core services, your infrastructure, new solutions, new tools, new features. You tell us what you're focused on, and we help you, solve for that. The market is that second piece: funding, branding, community amplification. Again, it's sort of a mixture of how do we help you grow from a credit basis. We know startups, that's critically important. That also addressing that funding challenge, but then also thinking about how do you amplify your brand, how do you tell your story, how do you drive market awareness, and that's a big part of the market piece of the APM program. And then in itself, excuse me.
Yeah, can you do things too fast and good job?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll be done in a second. 2 more slides. So, not that you could tell. But I think, again, this because I think it's critically important. You want more from us than obviously help you build your infrastructure. This is, of course, key. But we see this as sort of a continuous loop and flywheel. We want to help you sell. We want to help you drive revenue. We want to help you drive growth and reach. So whether it's through our marketplace solves for one of the biggest challenges schools and higher eds have, which is procurement. I can talk to you a little bit more about how we solve for that, but we've reduced procurement down from months down to a few hours in some cases as you tap into the marketplace program, because it ties into frameworks like Omnia in the US, where over 95% of schools in higher ed are tied into the Omnia network. You tie into that through marketplace. So there's opportunities again through marketplace to amplify your brand. Part of that comes with MDFF credits, so you can have the opportunity to market your organization, what you're focused on, what differentiates you. So that co-selling piece with AWS, I think, is something that often gets lost. we need you. We want to be your partner. We want to help you win because then you win, we win. So like I said, we drive visibility. We can provide focused support through our co-selling process. One co-selling mechanism is Marketplace. The other is our ISV Accelerate program. We've run out of time, so I won't be able to tell you about that, but I can talk to you a little bit later about just kind of how ISV Accelerates was differentiated. Usually I would recommend, our sort of startups, you start with Activate and transition to ISV Accelerate and transition into the partner network. But you don't always have to do that and sort of follow that process. And this slide was just about Marketplace, but come to us, we can definitely go deeper into how we can help you support on infrastructure, technology, product. But I think the most important, that's just dear to my heart, is most of my career, like I said, been on revenue growth and investment, about how we can help you grow commercially. So